we light the third candle for the more than 1,500,000 children slaughtered by the Nazis, young people who had no sin, who did no wrong. She was captured, tortured, and eventually executed. But her writings, demonstrations of resistance, and actions still provide an outstanding example for all.
I go to this theme, learning about the Holocaust, choosing to act. I feel that that is so powerful because that's really what this is all about. People, individuals, and countries and populations choosing to act, and in some cases choosing not to act. In 1933, Adolf Hitler and the National Socialist Party were elected to office. A lot of people are under the misconception that they stormed into power and took over the country, and that is not true. They got a majority of the votes of the German people at that time. And it was clear that Adolf Hitler and his party had an agenda. On the one hand, there were promises to the German people of improving the economy, the infrastructure, and that was understandable to be appealing. But the other flip side of it was also made very clear through propaganda on the radio, through the speeches of Adolf Hitler, and through his book Mein Kampf, written 10 years earlier, what his beliefs and what his agenda was going to be. And he provided the suffering people of Germany, people who were going through an incredible period of economic depression and poverty, that there was a scapegoat and a reason and a group to blame for the problems that Germany was having. But for whatever reason, the Jewish people were number one on that list, and for them he had a special term, der Endlösung, the final solution to the Jewish problem. Hitler in one of his speeches actually said, the single greatest danger to the German people is the continued existence of a single Jewish child.
My family on both sides were Polish, probably dating back at least 800 years in the land of Poland. When the Nazis came in and invaded, they took Jewish people like my father and my mother and their families into ghettos. And from there, they shipped them off to different places. My father's mother and father and two little brothers were sent to Auschwitz. The elderly and the children went first. My father was able to get away, and he fought the Nazis with a small group of men during the war. My mother was from a large city in the north of Poland, and her family, again, were put in a ghetto. My mother's mother and father were killed not in Auschwitz, but in Chelmno, another death camp, and her two little siblings. She and her sister were sent to a slave labor camp in the heart of Germany, manufacturing bullets for the German war effort. Both of my parents survived. They met in what was called a DP camp, Displaced Persons Camp, which was for people that survived these terrible experiences and needed a place to recover. And they were administered by the American Army in the south of Germany, in a town called Landsberg. That's where my parents met and got married. I grew up in a family where every member of my family had been in the Holocaust and survived the Holocaust. We had no grandparents, never knew what that was because they were all gone. It was just my mother and father and their one sister, and my father had a couple of brothers that survived.